Hello, Northlake Bulldogs. This is Mrs. Burley, the Library Media Specialist, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about EBSCO's History Reference Center. Now, it's important to know that this is a database that is run through EBSCO, and we have a subscription to the EBSCO databases that we run through our school. And EBSCO has databases for science, for language arts. This one is specifically for history. And looking how it's organized, you can see that you can search specifically for a topic. You can browse by subjects. They have subjects in U.S. history, they have subjects in world history, and then you can also browse by their popular sources. So they do have sources for Middle Ages, they have sources for ancient world and others as well. Since our focus is on world history here at Northlake, if I click into the world history, you can kind of see that it brings up topics to be looked at. There's one on the Middle Ages, there's the Renaissance, different ones that you can look through depending on what you're doing in your class. But if we go into the Middle Ages, for an example, you can see that it has different people, different places. So definitely topic related for this type of search. You can also see that if you use the search button here, you can search by different things. You can search by subject, by publication, and by images and videos. And you can do that just by clicking on it, and that will kind of open up that search for that particular type of search. Now, to give you an example of how to use the search, let's say I put in Magna Carta, which is something that you'll learn in your 7th grade social studies class. And I can put down here, I can even put down publication date. Now, because I am doing something from the past in history, I think it's okay to open up the publication dates. If you were doing something that was very current, you would definitely want to limit those publication dates. Now, the nice thing here is it'll keep track of my current search. It shows you my Boolean phrase is Magna Carta. I can look at full text articles. I can look for peer-reviewed articles, which means that it was reviewed by other experts, or cover stories. Or I can leave it blank, and I think it will search for all of that at once. So you can see here that it is searching. It's given me 154 results. So if I said peer-reviewed, it will update, and now I'm down to 34. If I wanted full text, now it has 26. And if I unclick those, it'll go back to our 154. You'll notice over here as well that it gives me related historical images and maybe some related videos. So it looks like there's no images, but there are 2 videos that I could have clicked on. Now, if I wanted to limit my search to less, I could put in more to my Boolean phrase and put in more keywords to help limit it. But for this this time, I'm just going to keep it so I can show you some of the things that are in here. You'll sometimes see that you can do it. You can look at it in HTML, or you can look at the source as a PDF. The nice thing about looking at it as an HTML, let me click into this one, is that you will be able to use Read Write for Google, and you'll be able to highlight information. I'm just going to pick anything here. I'm not really looking at what I'm doing, just highlighting so you can kind of see. So you can highlight information and keep track of it. I do think that if I go out of this document, it may not keep my highlighting, but for while I'm looking at it, that is a great thing to be able to have. Another feature of the History Reference Center is that if you want to just kind of get an idea of what the article is about, you can just scroll over this and it will pull up a little information about what it is. You can even, let's go back to that, you can look at the full citation, the PDF, the HTML, and you can add it to a folder there as well. But if you're just trying to get an idea of what it is, that might be a good place to look. Another nice feature is that it will tell you the reading level on some of the articles. Like here I see that the making of the Magna Carta, it's the reading level Lexile 610. So it's kind of a low Lexile, whereas 1520 down here for Magna Carta in its European context is a higher reading level. So that can kind of help you out as well to look at what reading level it might be. So let's go into number 7, the Mad King and the Magna Carta. If I click on it and I open it up, I can again see it in HTML. This is going to give me just a little idea of what it is. I can listen to it, and it will do an American accent. I think they also have Australian and British accents. So you can play around with that, but probably the American is the easiest. But that will kind of give you an idea. Again, I can click over here and look at it, the full text in HTML, so that I can use my read write for Google. And then if this is definitely an area I'm interested in, I can go and look for similar results, and that's going to help me with my search. So that'll limit my search a little bit more as well. So I can click on that, and now it's giving me similar results that kind of go along with King John, the Mad King, and the Magna Carta. I will point out that that did kind of lengthen how many documents it pulled up. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to shorten your search when you look for similar things, but maybe it will help you search in the right direction. And going back into the Mad King and the Magna Carta article, you'll notice too that over here on this side, I can do all kinds of things with it. I can share it. Uh, I think you can share through maybe through Gmail, through school. So there are different ways to share that document. You can you can also add it to Google Classroom or to your Google Drive, add it to a folder, save it. I think one of the most important things here, though, is the cite. So let's say that you're putting this into an essay that you're writing for class, and you have to cite your sources, especially if you are looking at citing through MLA, which some of you are doing. So if I click on cite, it's going to show me different ways to cite it. Now, there are lots of different ways to cite all these different abbreviations. Sometimes in college, we use APA, but here at Northlake, most of the time we are using MLA. So I can find the MLA citation, and that is going to tell me how to cite my source a little bit. Now, obviously, anytime you have a citation that has been created through a computer program, it is really important to check it carefully, and then also think about how you have learned how to cite in your class to make sure that it is accurate, because they are not always accurate here. So you have to check carefully. Now, once you're done checking the citation, if you want to close this down, you just hit that X and it goes right back to the article that you were working on. Now, as you're going along, you can look at the basic search. You can do a more advanced search. It'll keep track of your search history. And if you click that, it will show you all the things that you have searched through. And then you can, at least in your current search, and then you can also refine your search. So if you're not finding what you're looking for and you need to refine it or put in a different wording, then you can hit the refine search, and that will help as well. Now, thinking back to citations, which we were just looking at, if you are not sure about how to cite and you need some help, you can click the citation help and it will give you some information to go with. And since we are looking at MLA, it will definitely give you some help and some links on where to go to get more support for that. And then when you're done with that, you just close that window and it'll take you right back. So that is it for the History Reference Center. So happy searching!